Chapter 5. William managed to sneak an entire miniature meal upstairs after dinner. He didn't hang around to talk with the knight because he still had his history homework to do. He left Sir Simon digging enthusiastically into his bits of ham and baked potato. William had even found a top from an empty vanilla bottle and filled it with milk for the knight to drink. The next day, Jason bugged him again about the castle. "Come on, William. After all that stuff you told me about it, I want to see it," Jason complained. "All right, you can come home and see it today, but you'll have to go to gymnastics practice with me first," William said. "I thought you had practice yesterday." William looked away. "We have a big meet next month. The coach is really pushing us." "Sure, I'll come," Jason said. "It's more fun than practicing the piano." The other members of the team were already on the floor warming up when they arrived. "Hey, Lawrence, you're late." Robert, the coach, never let them get away with anything. "Sorry, can my friend watch if he stays out of the way?" "Sure. We're starting with floor work today. After you warm up, I want to see a round off and then 2 back handsprings." "Are you going to spot me?" "The first time. Then you're going to try it on your own. We still have to add the Arabian dive roll. The meet is exactly 1 month from today." Despite all the time and energy it took, William loved gymnastics. It was the only part of his life where having a small, wiry body really paid off. His moves were faster and more graceful than anyone else's, which improved the team's scores at meets. But it also meant Robert was tougher on him. "Stay here, William. I want you to try it again. The rest of the group can start work on the parallel bars." Robert walked across the room and put both hands on William's shoulders. "Remember, the back handspring creates the momentum and speed that you need for the dive roll. Focus on your shoulders. They'll do the job of transferring the energy from your arms to the rest of your body." William plodded wearily back to the corner. This was the 5th time in the row. His arms and shoulders ached. He stopped in the corner and closed his eyes for a moment. Nobody spoke. He made himself forget about Jason waiting in the corner, about the Silver Knight waiting in the castle, about Robert's frown. He had to get the rhythm, the push, the sense of space from inside himself. 1 step and he started off with a powerful run, then did the round off and 2 tight handsprings. It was better. He knew it. Robert nodded. "Join the rest of the group at the bars now." Later, Jason said on the way home, "He really pushes you. Doesn't it get to you?" William nodded. "Sometimes, but he's a good coach and he's usually right." "First 4 looked okay to me," Jason said. "I was crooked. I could feel it. And any judge would see it. Just like when you miss a note on the piano." Jason nodded. "You boys look tired," Mrs. Phillips said as they collapsed on the kitchen chairs. "Bad day at school?" "Robert made me do the first part of my routine 5 times in a row," William said. "Let's not talk about it." Mrs. Phillips put out another cup of juice and 2 cookies for Jason. When she turned back to the sink, William slipped a cookie into his napkin. Jason saw him but didn't say anything. "I'll be in the front, turning over the other half of the flower bed," Mrs. Phillips said. "What are you boys up to?" "William's going to show me the castle," Jason offered. "Is it true that you gave him to keep it forever?" Mrs. Phillips glanced over at William. "Forever," she said, "if he wants it that long." "Come on, Jason," William muttered. "I bet she's sad she's leaving," Jason said as they went up the back stairs. "She's not that sad or she wouldn't go," William said. "I bet." "I don't want to talk about her, Jason." Okay, sorry." They dumped their backpacks in William's room and headed down the hall. "What's a cookie for?" Jason asked. "What cookie?" "That one you hid in your pocket." "Oh, that." William opened the attic door. I leave one up in the castle for a snack. Sometimes I sneak up here after bedtime." He banged on the wall 3 times. "Why are you doing that?" Jason asked. "The light doesn't always go on at once. Banging the wall seems to help," he said as he flipped the switch. "What's with all the questions?" But Jason didn't answer. He had vaulted up the top 3 steps ahead of William and was already staring at the castle. Never thought it would be so big, he said, as he walked all the way around it. Show me how the drawbridge works. William moved slowly to pull the lever and give the Silver Knight as much time as possible to hide. He thought he saw something moving in the stable, but Jason didn't seem to notice. You pull this chain here to raise the metal grating, he said. Jason tried it a couple times. William sat back and let him explore the castle on his own. He was hoping Jason would finish quickly so he could get on with his bug search. But Jason seemed to be settling in for the afternoon. Where's all the soldiers? He asked. It didn't come with any, William lied. Castle isn't much fun without knights. Maybe we could pool our money and buy some? Sure, William said, but he knew he didn't sound very enthusiastic. He didn't want Jason around every afternoon, or he wouldn't have any time alone with the Silver Knight. He stood up. We better go down now. I've got a lot of homework to do. Come on, I just got here, Jason said. They looked at each other. You act as if you don't really want me around. William didn't answer for a moment. He wanted to explain everything, but he couldn't tell about the Silver Knight, and he was tired of lying. It sounds stupid, he said at last, but I just want to be alone. All right, Jason said as he started down the stairs. I guess I understand. Bye, William. Bye. He knew Jason was hurt. It's all Mrs. Phillips' fault, he thought. I wouldn't feel this way if she hadn't decided to leave. He stood up. You can come out now, William called to Sir Simon as he rummaged around in a trunk for a small cardboard box. Something moved behind the stable door, and the small knight appeared. You didn't give me much warning, he shouted up at William. Sorry, I didn't know Jason would run up the stairs so fast. I gotta go now. It'll be dark soon, and I want to find a bug so we can test the token. I found a box to keep it in. I hate to trouble you further, William, but might you have something to eat? Oh, I almost forgot. I brought you a cookie, William said, digging down into his pocket. It's mostly crumbs now, but that makes it perfect for you. Be back later, he called from the bottom of the steps. Jason left quickly, Mrs. Phillips said as he joined her in the flower bed. He had to go home, William said. Have you seen any bugs around here? I need one for my science class. She handed him the trowel. Help yourself. All sorts of things are feeling the spring and stirring around. It was a warm afternoon for April. They worked side by side in silence. William found 2 sow bugs and put them in the cardboard box with some dirt and a couple of leaves. Then he worked in the flower bed with her for a bit. Have you been playing with the Silver Knight? She asked after a long silence. He didn't lift his head or answer for a minute. He hadn't thought yet whether he should tell her about Sir Simon or not. Yes, he said. He told me a really long story yesterday about where he came from. Mrs. Phillips smiled. Did he now? He never talked to me all those years I played with him. There was that legend about him. Maybe it's the same one the Silver Knight told you. William shrugged. Maybe, he said. He could tell she wasn't taking him seriously. Oh, there's that gray cat from next door, she said. Chase it away, will you, William? Every time it gets close, I start to sneeze. By the time he got back, she'd gathered up more gardening tools and gone inside. They said no more about the Silver Knight.